welcome to another episode of the Atlantic Center for Independent Living podcast, the Atlantic CIL podcast. My name is Donald. I am, of course, your host. I think this is episode, I think we might be in 21 or 22. I don't know. I lost count. And I'm here with Adam, who actually I just met because, who is waving right now because of our friend, the guy who produces this podcast, Jacob. And he linked me with Adam, and we just met like 5 seconds ago. So now we're going to have a conversation about his life and how he got to where he is producing music and stuff like that. So hi, Adam.
Hi.
Hi. So Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you were just telling me kind of about yourself and your disability. How would you explain it?
So my disability is, well, I have a couple, but the main thing is called Russell Silver syndrome. It's kind of similar to cerebral palsy, but like it's where one side of my body is like stronger than the other and has like more muscle and stuff. So basically it's just like, it doesn't really affect me anymore because I've learned to like get through it. Yeah, I've learned to live with it, but basically, like for my face, for example, like one side, I think it's either my left side or my right side. I don't remember which one, but like when I smile, like not one side doesn't can't move like that way, but the other side can. So it's basically just like my butt muscles in my body, how like one side of my body is basically just stronger than the other.
Yeah, we were talking about for the podcast. I have cerebral palsy, and that is a lot like my cerebral palsy, even though it's not exactly the same thing. My left side is weaker than my right side. So if I do things on my left side, I can do things, but it's definitely not as easy as doing things on my right side. And I can kind of, I don't know if you can, I can kind of just feel it. Like when I'm doing something with the weaker side, I just kind of notice. It's not like, I can still do it, but it's not as quick. You know,
Yeah.
If I was ever in a battle and they were attacking me from the left side, I'd be in trouble. So I mean, the end of me. But so you were talking about how you learned to live with it. What was it like growing up with it? Did you notice it, or were you always able to kind of overcome it?
I mean, really, I was always really able to overcome it because I knew that like something was different, and but I kind of like trained myself a little bit. Like for example, like for the longest time I couldn't wink with my left eye because my left side is weaker than my right side, just like yours. So I couldn't wink with my left eye, but I just kept trying, and now I can. But like, so basically I just learned to overcome it, really.
All right. Oh, that's awesome. And so where are you now? Are you in school? What are you doing? What's the life of
No.
Adam like now?
Well, I graduated in the summer of 2022, graduated high school. So now I'm working at a local grocery store here in the state that I live in, which is Oregon. And I work at a grocery store. And then I also, when I have time, I just work on music and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us about the music. What do you do with music?
Really, I make like I said a little bit earlier before we started recording. I make electronic music, particularly dubstep. Not sure how much you know about that, but I know Jacob.
I know nothing. I'm very uncool, Adam. You gotta tell me what it is so I can feel cool. So tell me what dubstep
Let's
is.
see. Jacob would probably be able to explain it better because him and I are huge fans of it. But like Jacob is specifically but anyway, it's electronic music, and it's really like, I don't know, there's so much variety within the genre, like as a whole. I couldn't explain one thing because that doesn't only cover
Is
one
it like
thing.
what does it sound like? Does it sound like techno, or does it sound like if you
It
had to
sounds
describe?
like, do you remember the name Skrillex? Does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah, it kind of
Skrillex.
does.
Yeah, so basically back in 2011, 2012, he had like his music was like really like that was kind of like the beginning of the dubstep that we know. It's basically, I'm not sure how I could describe how it sounds because it depends. Every artist has their own take on the genre. Yeah, I couldn't explain it if I tried, but I'm sure if you asked Jacob, he would
Yes,
more than
he could
he would
explain it.
love
And
to.
you know what, Adam? I could always, Google it or YouTube it, like
True,
mention
true
it
that
now
too.
instead of asking you. But
Yeah.
now I feel cool or somewhat cool, or like I could fit in with the cool kids.
You're
Um,
already cool.
I appreciate that. I need that. I have very low self-esteem. So,
Yeah.
so how did you get into producing music? How did that start?
It started in May of 2020. So the pandemic was there and ruining everything, of course.
Right.
And I was just really bored. I was just sitting at home. I'm a very social person. Like I need social interaction, or else I'm bored out of my mind. And so really that's when I got really into like online stuff, like Discord and stuff, just like online communities. And I also had been playing this rhythm game called Geometry Dash, which it's a rhythm game, and yeah, you're a cube and you have to jump over obstacles. It sounds simple, but it gets really hard. And the music in that game, or the music in like, because you can make your own levels, and some of the music is like made, or all the music is made by like other people. You can make music for that game if you wanted to. And I was like, that would be cool. I want to try that. And so I downloaded a program called FL Studio, and I had the trial version of it, and then I made one song. My first song was really bad. It was called Ambition. It was like 6 minutes long. It was really bad, but at the time I was really proud of it. So I was like, "Yo, I made this," or
Mm.
whatever. And then really, I had a lot. It was just really fun, and so I kept doing it. And then I mean, the rest is basically history. I just kept improving, and yeah.
That's cool. How did you meet Jacob?
How did I meet Jacob?
What's your Jacob origin story?
Trying to think. I believe I met him in a Discord server of one of my other friends named Isaac. He does like he reviews electronic music on his YouTube channel. And I was in his Discord server and we were in a call. And I think that's where I met Jacob. Yeah, that's where I met Jacob. And then we started like talking. We just started like talking more and more. And then and then I followed his like Instagram and stuff. And we just so we met in the Discord server and then we just became good friends.
All right, can you explain to the audience what Discord is in case
Oh
anybody
yeah.
doesn't know?
Discord, it's kind of like if you remember Skype, it's basically like a chat room app, kind of,
Right, right,
sort of. But
right.
like,
It's like a chat room you set up for like your friends, essentially.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
and then people can go in and talk. So, like you said, it's like Skype, kind of like Zoom in kind of a way, right? Like
yeah, a little bit.
but more private in terms
Yeah.
of um who gets in and who doesn't. All right, well that's awesome. So like how often do you produce music? Do you do it every week? What's the process like?
It really always depends because really at like one point, mostly when you take it seriously, then you always feel the need to like produce all the time so you can get stuff out there. But I kind of do it sparingly, so I'm not burnt out because obviously I love making music. But if you force yourself to do it every day, even if you don't want to, then I mean it gets tiring.
Right.
I mean, so I kind of I do it kind of sparingly. I do it pretty often when I get a lot of ideas, but yeah, it really just like if I don't have any ideas, then I don't want to force anything, like
Right.
force
Well,
anything
because
out
then
because
it's
then it
not
won't
fun
sound good.
then it's not fun anymore. Then
Yeah,
it becomes like homework.
yeah,
And nobody wants to do homework,
yeah.
especially when you're older. How do you get your music out there? How do you promote it?
Um, really, I upload my music to really just like all kinds of streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, and then really about promoting it, I just post it on my social media, and really that's pretty much it.
And it's for where can people check out your music if they're listening to this?
Um, they can check out my music. I would recommend that they go to my SoundCloud because that has most of my stuff on it. My SoundCloud name is MozzyFluorum. That's MozzyFluorum.
So you live in Oregon? How's Oregon? What's Oregon like? I'm from New Jersey. What's Oregon
Kind of boring, not gonna lie. I've been here all my
like?
life, so I mean,
It's not
yeah,
that great. I'm not missing anything, Adam. I'm not.
well, I mean, it's nice being right. It's not like a really. It's not a very popular state, so it's not like downtown New York. Oh, you're gonna get squished in a stampede everywhere you go.
Right.
But like I said, I've been here all my life, so I'm used to it and I've seen everything already. So
Aren't there like cool mountains and stuff? That's Oregon, right? You guys got
there are
mountains, right?
there are yes, there are cool mountains and stuff in Central Oregon, but like I said, I already know about them. I've already seen
Okay.
them.
You're over the mountains. I would be impressed by the mountains. You're just like over the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, just like let's say, right, if I went to New Jersey, I would be fascinated by everything
True.
just because it's
True.
somewhere new. But you and Jacob would be like, same old New Jersey.
Yeah, it's just New Jersey. That's true. I do feel your feel your pain there. Yeah, let's talk about you. We're talking about the pandemic and stuff, and we touched on that a little bit because it ties into a lot of people with disabilities. And you seem like it affected you initially, and then you were able to find something you liked. So at first, you said it was tough because you're a social person. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh yes, I'm a very social person. Like I would probably explode if I couldn't talk to anyone. And I was still in school at that point, right? I was in 10th grade. I was a sophomore in high school, right? And I I was friends with everyone because I like talking to everyone, right? And school was my favorite part of the day, not because I liked classes, because I didn't, but I loved being able to talk with all my friends, being able to hang out with all my friends all the time. After school, I would go to my friends' houses, or I'd just walk around town with a bunch of my friends, do stuff with friends because that's what I like doing most. And the pandemic hit, and then all that went away because everyone had to like stay inside and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was super duper lonely. I had siblings, but like, who wants to hang out with siblings?
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah, siblings.
Yeah. So I mean, I was super duper lonely, and I mean, it went that way it was that way for like since it began in March and up until May when I started making music, and I was like, this is really cool. And then and then my music kind of was my main focus because I mean, I could create a world where I could do whatever I want. Essentially, that's what it always seemed like.
That's cool. What else do you like besides music? What else do you do in Adam's life?
I play a little bit of video games, not really like seriously or anything. I just play really mostly I'm a Nintendo boy. Like yeah, I just born into basically like Mario and yeah, literally
Yes,
just Mario, I guess.
yeah, I grew up. I also grew up with Nintendo. Grew up with Super Nintendo, which I don't know if you know.
Oh,
It's
I've
like
played my grandma had one. My grandma had
Yes,
one. I
thank
would
you
always
for
play
making me
Yoshi's
feel
Island.
thank you for making me feel really old, Adam, that your grandmother had my first video game system. And so what's your favorite Mario game? What's your favorite Mario game?
Favorite Mario game, Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii,
Oh
easily.
yeah, I heard that was good. I heard that was
It's
good.
so good.
And Sonic's not Nintendo, right? That's Sega, didn't he get?
Yeah, that's
What-
Sega.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I love Sonic. Um,
Sonic's cool. I really like the newest Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. That one's really good.
that's good. That's good. That's good. So we got video games, we got music. Anything else?
Um, does watching YouTube count?
Yes, it does. What do you watch on
Okay,
YouTube?
then we got watching YouTube then, because who doesn't watch YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really. I want to like redevelop a social life now that the pandemic's kind of like over. It seems like, but I don't mean, I don't know. It's hard being how I'm like, I'm either working or I'm like at home and stuff. And
Yes, yes.
most of my friends that I used to hang out with, oh, now they're in college and stuff. So I mean,
Are you gonna do college or you not everybody does? What are your feelings on college? What are Adam's thoughts?
yeah, I'm not really like, I have no interest in going to college. I feel like I already know what I need to know. And I mean, there's like music course, there's like music classes and stuff, but like I don't know what they could teach. Like I don't think that they could teach me anything that either the internet couldn't or stuff that I already know.
I
So
understand what you mean. You might like the social aspect of college though, because you're a social person.
that's true actually.
I don't know if you should go to college just to be social, but
Yeah. Also, yeah, if I wanted to be social, I would just go out in public. No need to pay tens of thousands of dollars.
yes, this is true. This is true. I don't think you need to go into debt. But so you said you work at a grocery store. What's it like working? Has your disability affected your ability to get a job at all?
Not really. I got hired pretty much on the spot on that job. And I've been there for over a year and a half now. It's been like on the 16th of February this month, it'll have been a year and 8 months since I've been there. Like it's affected me like a little bit, just how like I'm a little slower to get things done than really everyone else. But I still managed to get things done. And so I mean I just
Right.
it's not like a huge issue. It's just the fact that, oh, I just need a little more time than most other people.
Yeah. What did you tell your employer about it, or because this is
Yeah.
always a thing that comes up with people with disabilities? It's like how much to share. So what did it even come up? Sometimes it just doesn't come up. Did it even come up like when you were interviewing or anything like that? Did they notice?
I'm sure I think they did. I think they did notice. I didn't specifically say it, but I said that or I told them that I would just need, I didn't go into specifics, but I told them that I told them that I just needed a little bit more time to do things than most people, but it'll still get done. And yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because that's a good way to explain it without, running around with your I'm disabled t-shirt on. That's a good way, that's a good way to you explained it well. You were just like, look, I can get it done, but if it's taking me a little longer, you just gotta give me a few extra minutes, which is kind of what I always say too. So, I always tell people it's really up to you what you want to disclose or not. I mean, employers can't discriminate, but of course you never know if they do or not, because it's not like they're gonna say, Donald, I'm discriminating against you because of your disability, because that's illegal. So you gotta think about it. Like I have cerebral palsy, so it's not exactly easy for me to hide my disability, but there are some disabilities that are easier to hide than others. So some people choose not to disclose. The only piece of advice I would give on that is on your resume, I would not put you have a disability, because it's a whole lot. Like when you meet somebody, it's harder to discriminate against them than when you put it on your resume. So don't put on your resume your disability. Make them meet you first, because they might look at that and go, I don't want to deal with that. But once they meet you and see how cool you are, then they're like, oh, okay, I get it more. I get it now. Has anyone ever treated you differently because of your disability? Have you had any situations like that? Like I know I've had situations with my cerebral palsy where people talk to me slower, which is really annoying. but I was just wondering if you've ever had like situations like that.
I don't think so, actually. I mean, in really when I was in elementary school, I was in like a special ed thing, and their whole thing was like accommodating anyway. So I mean, it was nothing out of the ordinary. But I mean, other than that, really, everyone treats me like the normal person that I want to be
All
treated
right, well,
as.
good for Oregon. Go Oregon, yeah.
So Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it can be annoying when they don't do that. What else you said you have? Yeah, now I'm getting the whole life of Adam. You say you had siblings. How many siblings do you have?
Many. AK, I have. How many do I have? I have four.
You lost count of your siblings there for a minute.
No,
That was a
no, I said too many because I have a lot, but no, I have four. I have four. I have two 15-year-old brothers, a 12-year-old sister, and a 2-year-old sister, almost 3-year-old.
And we established that they're not cool to hang out with because during the pandemic you didn't want to hang out with them.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I spend every day with them, so I mean,
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't feel like hanging out with them. It just feels like
yeah,
living there.
yeah.
So do you want to live on your own eventually, Adam? What is your? I know you're
I
so
mean,
young. So I know these questions are annoying because it's like, no, I don't have my whole life figured out yet, Donald. So shut up. But
yeah.
what are any plans?
I honestly, I really don't know yet. I mean, I'm living really, with my parents, and I mean, they said that, I mean, I pay like rent, or it's kind of rent, really. It's basically just like it's basically just paying for like stuff I use, like water, electricity, all that,
Oh,
blah,
cool.
blah, blah. Yeah,
Well,
so it's
that's
not really
actually
rent, but
that's
you know,
actually a good thing that your parents are getting you ready for the actual world
yeah.
and paying bills. But would you eventually like to live on your own? Is that
I think
uh
yeah, I mean, eventually I would like to, but I'm not like in any rush to do so.
yes. Yeah, the real world is overrated, Adam. Hang on to and hang on to not the real world for as long as you can.
Yeah.
And since we talked about music, what is your favorite type of music? Do you listen to music regularly or do you just make it?
I listen to music all the time. Music has always been a part of my life. I always loved listening to music. I mean, I in school, whenever I was in school and work, like I always listened to music to help me with like focus on like my work and stuff. And I always loved listening to music, even when I was like little as well.
What's your favorite type of music?
No, I don't actually have a favorite kind. I like whatever sounds good to me, whatever I enjoy, really.
What do you have like top three albums that you listen to?
Three albums. Let's see. I don't really listen to many albums, but let's see. If I had to choose, I would say top three. Number one would probably be Nurture by Porter Robinson, which is more like I don't know, it's more like chill, like electronic kind of. It's really like it has kind of like a pop like influence, but like it's really chill, very nice, very like nature inspired kind of. Like it feels like nature stuff. That's probably my favorite. That's my favorite album because it's just like it's so emotional and just like it resonates with me a lot. And after that would probably be what's it called? Oh, I forgot what. Oh, We Are Dust by Xylent, which is more like, I mean, more like kind of dubstep oriented. It's very like space, like robot themed. And what I like about the album specifically is that each song transitions from one to the other the whole way through. So if you're listening to it on something like Apple Music, where it plays the next song instantly without a pause, then it's like a transition. It seamlessly transitions from one song to the next. And I really like that a lot. And then the last one, hmm, what was the last one? The last one would probably be Divinorum by AU5, which is also more of a dubstep one, also very futuristic themed. And that's exactly why I like it, because it has a lot of futuristic kind of sounds and stuff that sound really cool to me.
That's awesome. That's cool. So you did a good job too. Usually when I ask this question to put people on the spot, they can't think of like top 3 or anything, but you did it. You made it through. What do you have a preferred streaming service for music that you would recommend?
Apple Music. Apple Music, because, well, my trusty iPhone right here. I mean, I can download songs, listen to them with no internet and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I really.
Jacob always makes fun of me because I'm an Android person, so, and he's a very Apple person, so it's all right. It's all right. You know, he didn't quit his job over it, so that's what I'm happy about. But, you know, he was like, "What?" I enjoy my Android. Well, Adam, this has been a great conversation. You're very easy to talk to. I can see why Jacob recommended you. And I told everyone, I told Adam at the end of this, I'd give him a score of how cool he is. And on 1 to 10, I would say he's definitely a 10, a cool person. Check out his music. And thank you so much for joining us, Adam.
Oh, thank you for having me. When Jacob just like messaged me yesterday on Instagram. He's like, "You want to be part of this podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool. I've never been on a podcast before." So
look at Jacob. He's a producer, he's a booker, he's doing, you know, he's multi-talented.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's just like he does everything. He just really
yes, I agree. He is awesome too. So thank you, Jacob, for setting up this interview. And thank you,
shout
Adam.
out to Jacob.
Great meeting you. Bye, Adam.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.